doing a review for this book. It's Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I wasn't overly enthusiastic about reading this book. I've read Island by Aldous Huxley and it didn't do a lot for me. However, so many people have recommended Brave New World to me that in the end I decided I had to read it. I've been told that this book is similar to 1984 by George Orwell in that it describes a totalitarian future where citizens' behaviour is highly controlled. I thought 1984 was a really good book, and it has been particularly terrifying watching so much of it coming true this year. So that was another nudge to finally read Brave New World. I have enjoyed this book much more than I had expected to. From the first line, I found the story gripping and encompassing, and I wanted to read on and find out more. This book was so enjoyable to read that if I had had the time, I would happily have sat and read it from start to finish in one sitting. It was a brilliant read, and I can't believe it was written almost 90 years ago. It tackles so many current themes, like what is happiness, what is freedom, what do we want? In this story, civilised humans have been given everything they could possibly want. Easy jobs, easy sex, drugs with no come-downs, and no old age or illness. There are prices for all this happiness, strict conditioning from birth, tampering with fetuses to give most of them a lower IQ, as well as no deep relationships, religion, or high art. Most people are very happy, even though they work monotonous jobs which never change, and the entertainment in their lives are rehashed versions on the same low-grade themes. Sound familiar? It's really about control. People may be getting what they want, or what they think they want, but they're also behaving exactly as they are wanted to. I felt it was a good start to the book to have a group of students being given a tour of the Central London Hatchery and Conditioning Centre. This allowed a thorough description to be given of how people are created and conditioned in this new version of the future where the book is set. This allows the scene to be well described and explained whilst keeping within the story. I think it was difficult to really pin down whether this modern world was dystopian or realistically utopian. This was a theme that I returned to throughout the book. The book is described as dystopian, but actually I felt that as most of the people are very happy with their modern world, it's difficult to give it that label. The citizens may have lifelong conditioning and drugs to contribute to their contented state, but then all civilisations have those, and yet the citizens generally remain pretty miserable. Maybe in this world they're just more honest about what is needed to produce happiness. As the book says, that is the secret of happiness and virtue, liking what you've got to do. And if most people are happy, then what's the problem? I think that is the big dilemma that is being worked through in the book. What is happiness? What do we want? Why do we want things that will make us miserable? The world of the book relies heavily on a lot of social conditioning. Right from babies and throughout childhood, they are continually fed messages that will later become their core beliefs. This includes enjoying their work, disliking nature, consumerism, and a total lack of individualism or privacy. This happens a lot in our own world now, maybe not quite to the same extent, but it's not far off. Just look at how people's views have changed within a century from make, do and mend to go out and spend. And that includes the generation that grew up with the original message. Okay, it's not everyone, and you know deep down that it's wrong, but we all still do it. Do people prefer to be ignorant of how conditioned and manipulated they are? It's certainly much easier and happier that way. As the book says, they get what they want, and they never want what they can't get. There are a lot of communist and capitalist references, as this book is demonstrating a world where these two factors have taken complete control. In the world of Brave New World, they are very anti-history and anti-things that are old. People also have soma, which allows them to take a holiday from reality, however regularly they need it. A gram is better than a dam. In this new world, it is accepted that people need that. Do people need that? Aren't we all looking for some escape sometimes and then feeling guilty that we can't bear things without a drink or some chocolate or those new shoes or whatever it is we do to give ourselves a little holiday? In the world of the book, there is no guilt for taking these regular holidays from everyday life. Perhaps they understand better that when you live in complete insanity, for most people, that's too much to bear stone cold sober. I thought the story had an interesting choice of main characters. There's Bernard. He finds himself unhappy in the world because he is physically inferior in a uniform world. It seemed that he would be the great reformer or discoverer of a better way. When he found the savage, I thought he was going to swap places with him in an attempt to find a deeper truth to life. But not at all. He was indelibly tied to the world he knew and became happy in it with his newfound status as the discoverer of the savage. How similar this seems to many today who berate the terrible system when it's only really jealousy that they do not have a higher standing in it. Shit, I think I'm Bernard. There's Helmholtz, who has also found himself like an outsider in this world. Unlike Bernard, Helmholtz is very talented and very successful. What he needs is new challenges and deeper understanding than this uniformed world can give him. Yet he also doesn't opt to try and change the world. Instead, he takes the opportunity to bugger off. The savage, John, he is the dreamer. He dreamed of this faraway, perfect world that his mother had told him about, but in reality, he found it to be a living hell. He still dreamed about a perfect world, but it was impossible for him to even come close to achieving it in this controlled environment. Even Mustafa Mond, the resident controller for Western Europe, his Fordship no less, he knows the faults of this world better than anyone, but he doesn't assume for a moment that they can be changed. In his mind, he can either go along with it and by his position enforce it, or be exiled. They all accept that they can't change this world. John has an attempt, but he's quickly overpowered. As much as Brave New World is set in a very different world, this rings true for our world. Whether people are miserable or unfulfilled or insane at the insanity, or successful but aware of the underlying faults, it seems that no one can change the world in a fundamental way. Many of us know we are conditioned. Many of us are not encouraged to reach our potential. Many of us worry that either we're crazy or everyone else is, because this world is wrong. Just damn right wrong. It's not just one thing, one lie, it's everything. And we know we cannot fundamentally change it. In this way, Brave New World is really look a bit closer at your own world. Brave New World and 1984 are like the carrot and stick of civilized human control and development. Neither of them are accurate predictions, but they both highlight the potentials of humans to be controlled, and in that sense, they're frighteningly correct. The other thing they highlight so starkly is that most people will conform and do as they're told. Just look at 2020. Okay, so here it is again. It's a very good book. Okay, thank you.